What's up, guys? I am getting ready to go to my AIR air class for my recovery. I want you guys to listen in on some of my comments.
What motivates you today? Thanksgiving food. Ready to eat. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful to be clean. 17th of next month, I have 24 minutes. And the last one, I know I got the power to say no now. No matter what.
How'd you know you had food poisoning?
Ma'am,
I was just wondering because a couple of weeks ago I was out for a week, but I got a bacteria intestinal
I
bacteria.
went Wednesdays when I was here. I left early and I went and finished up a side job. And me and my fiance, I went home, then we went to Dollar General and went back to the house. I got a beef and cheese stick because I love them. We had sat down and eat supper where we eat leftovers from the night before we went to Chinese place. Now me and her eat the same thing, so I know it was the Chinese. Later on that night, I ate that beef and cheese stick, and the cheese, it wasn't soft like it usually was. It was kind of hard, like the pack. Maybe I had a hole or something in it, and I ate it anyway. Thursday morning when I woke up, dude, I was so sick in my stomach, felt like I was gonna throw up. To begin with, I just felt nauseated, felt like my stomach was gonna get tore up. And I finally had to go out on the back porch and make myself throw up.
Oh, better afterwards.
I felt a little better after that, but that's when my stomach, oh my God, dude, it felt the bottom of my stomach across what I call my fat roll.
I have to understand that. I felt that before.
It felt like it was just stretching. I mean, I was doubled over. It felt like my gut was twisted up. But when my stomach got tore up, straight water. Straight water. I couldn't, when I went to the wife, I couldn't use toilet paper. I had to use fucking baby wipes.
Yeah, that's what, I mean, I
I mean, and
don't know if I got
that
it from
shit-
eating
that
chicken.
shit went on Thursday, Friday morning. I got up and got in the car, and I come up here to see the damn primary care doctor, and I just missed the last walk-in that you could take. Said I'd have to come back on Monday. So I come over here and I waited out there in the lobby on Miss Jada to come out there for drinking their video and group. I told her, no, I was all day Friday night, lay in the bed sick, couldn't eat, couldn't keep nothing down. Saturday I couldn't keep nothing down, and then Sunday I started eating a little bit, and by Monday I got where I could eat solid food again. And, you know, I had to come up here, which I took my Benadryl shot Monday from alcohol. And I'm glad I got over the food poisoning. I ain't never, I've had COVID. And COVID is the worst I ever felt in my life because of my head and congestion. But that stomach feeling, it literally felt somebody had repeatedly kicked me in the stomach.
Gut punching you.
I couldn't hardly
Gut punching
to
your
get up in
ass.
the bed. I went in, I got my fiance to go get me a bed sheet, and I took a bed sheet and tied it to the foot post where I could reach and grab it and pull myself to sit up in a sitting position.
I thought you were gonna say you wrapped it around your waist like a diaper. Put shit on yourself.
Well, I needed that.
So what
You finna shit on yourself all night.
Alright.
And drop one.
No using behaviors or use. No thoughts of hurting myself or anybody else. Emotionally, I'm content. Spiritually, I'm fit. Physically, I'm a little tired. Score 1 to 10, about a 7. Cravings a 0, anger a 0, depression a 2, anxiety a 3. What goals you made for yourself today? I made needed phone calls that had to be done. What is something you accomplished recently you're proud of? Family sponsors. What is one word that will motivate you today? Hope. What am I grateful for? Family. One positive affirmation is one day at a time.
Justin?
I said no to using unsafe behaviors. If I was to put myself for anyone else, feeling kind of groggy today. So emotionally, I said 6. Spiritually, I said 6. Physically, I said 6. Craving, I said 8. Anger, I said 2. Depression, I said 7. Anxiety, I said 2. Overall wellness, I said 5. Goal for today is drug test. Which has a negative 3. And looking forward to surgery tomorrow and next week. And I can do this one day at a time.
Okay. Do you think your overall wellness is delayed just because you're not feeling physically well, or
Yeah, I'm
the
just probably,
holidays, or?
yeah, it's probably the holidays.
Jamel?
Oh, so me. All right. Any using or unsafe behavior? No. Any thoughts of hurting yourself or anyone else? No. How do you feel today? Emotionally, couldn't be feeling better. Spiritually, feeling mixed feelings about that. Physically, feeling like I'm trying, whatever the feeling is for that word. Score yourself on the following using 1 to 10. Cravings 0, anger 0, depression 0, anxiety 1. Overall wellness 8. What is a goal do you have for yourself today? Just get ready for Thanksgiving at my cousin's house tomorrow. What is something you have accomplished recently that you are proud of? I made a YouTube channel about recovery. What is one word that will motivate you today? Family. What are you grateful for? My first Thanksgiving clean in over like 10 years. One positive affirmation about yourself. I'm finding evidence in my purpose every day.
Just as socialization, we're going to continue the workbook, but I was thinking with the holidays, usually I do a whole group on being prepared for the holidays or struggles during the holidays. Does anybody anticipate having struggles, or is anybody struggling right now in the holiday?
No. I was talking with Jamel, like where we were last Thanksgiving, and compared to where we are right now, it's just a big change. I won't be with any family this year, but I've got some people I'm going to celebrate with. But they did want me to come down, which is different. Usually, I'm not the guy you want.
We up there fucking it up.
Yeah.
So what do you think could be some struggles or things that can trip us up during the holidays?
Well, one for me is being around a lot of, my old friends, drink. I can't reminisce on back times from my mom and dad. You know, my daddy was the best friend I ever had in my life. Give him the heart out of my chest, they just see me able to live one more minute. I can't think about that if I do. I gotta think of the good times, if anything. Just being around the wrong people at the wrong time.
Thinking you can get away with something. I know, like, especially since Fantasy's gonna be closed on Thursday and Friday, and then we got the weekend. A lot of people might think, oh, this is an opportunity for me to get away with something because they're not even gonna be able to drug test me until Monday.
How they can drug test?
Uh,
You and refresh?
I mean, if you go on pass on
Gary will
Thursday,
come up there and drug test you if he feels like he needs
I mean, yeah, if he feels like he needs to, yeah, but I'm saying like,
to. No,
like
I know,
if you go
I know
on
what you're
pass,
saying.
you know.
It does, those are all like legitimate, why people do struggle during the holidays. One, sometimes we do like mourn people from our past that aren't here with us today. Or that we're just estranged from, because of our substance use. A lot of times when people go on past and they look forward to seeing their family and their family's intact, but they have these high expectations and it doesn't live up to that because their family may still be hesitant around them or treating them some kind of way that wasn't how they were expecting.
This is actually gonna be the first Thanksgiving in 2 years that I hadn't eaten Rottweiler meat for Thanksgiving.
I think getting too relaxed would be an issue. You know what I mean? Like, like getting too relaxed. Like you're gonna be away from your normal setting where you're more comfortable and more aware of your cravings and your feelings, and you're gonna get out there. You start to get too relaxed. You're gonna start to feel the same way you used to feel, and start thinking to yourself like, oh, you know what, man, shit, right now would probably be a good time for me to go ahead and get fucked up real quick because you're gonna forget how hard you struggle to get to that point, and next thing you know, you're just gonna say, well, what's the worst that can happen? You're gonna get too relaxed. You're gonna take your foot off the pedal a little bit. Next thing you know, you got your foot off the pedal completely, and you don't put your foot on the brakes, and you're somewhere getting fucked up because you don't forgot everything that you
don't have that
that's all for.
It's tough a layer of accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes even just changing routine. I know sometimes the holidays can just get me off kilter just because it's a change in my routine.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can get, it's more relaxed now, but there's times, especially where I can get real manic thinking I gotta go shop or I gotta cook this or I gotta go buy this for somebody, and I'll get kind of over hyper and overstimulated, and then I kind of crash emotionally. There's a lot of times reasons people can struggle. So what are some things y'all can do if you find yourself struggling?
The usual. Make a phone call. The people that you can call. Let your family know. I'm sure most of our family knows our situation and what we're going through. Let your family know, like, hey man, I probably need to, chill out somewhere, then go for a ride or something. Clear our head, clip our head, just get away with, take the opportunity to get away, get out of the situation and just go and have some self-reflection. Remember why you're doing this whole situation. Don't let the first time or this holiday fuck up all your next few, however many holidays.
Yeah, and there's resources in the community. Isn't that 24th Street doing a all-day alkathon? Or yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You going to 24?
Yeah. It's from like 8 to about what time? 8 at night. I'm not going till like 1, 2.
Is that Thanksgiving, 13th?
Yeah, that's right.
Cause I know, like, when I was in Florida and Tampa and some of the big cities, they have 24-hour rooms from Thanksgiving till Christmas, just because so many people struggle and they give them somewhere safe to be, during the holidays. So there are community, stuff you can do, or like you said, call your sponsor,
Can
call.
I ask you a question? Lisa, do you know if the bus is gonna be running?
No, not on Thanksgiving.
I don't know, man. I was just asking.
Not on Thanksgiving. Not on any major holidays. The bus don't run.
Okay.
If you're in Refresh, some people have lift cards to get places, don't they? You can sign up with them.
I think
Yeah.
most of the people that have a lift card though are gonna be like gone. To be honest with you. I don't think there's anybody who actually has a lift card that's gonna probably still be at the house.
I'm gonna try to get one here in a minute. I just sent an email about.
Do you
Yeah, I
have
need
a
to get
sponsor?
one too.
Say again?
Do you have a sponsor?
Yeah, I need to get one too.
Mm,
You're supposed to fill it out. Fill one out. You know the thing we fill out for the Walmart cards.
I don't know if he'll.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's gonna do.
Jay's already got them.
But you know,
What,
if
lift
I get
cards?
down
Yeah.
the board and stuff, what I do is
I'm saying like you're supposed to fill it out. That's the form you fill out to get one. It's the form we fill out for the Walmart cards.
Yeah, so Gary told me to send an email to Jay.
I felt lost
Question one.
What's that?
Sunday and Monday.
Let me see if I can see if I can get me one because I
Down the stairs.
need one
Dropped
too.
my phone, and it hit on the corner. It still, you could hear it ring, but the screen was black. Sunday and Monday, not having a phone, not being able to get on it and scroll through YouTube like I do, or Facebook, I just lost, man.
It's bad. I mean, I wouldn't call it tech addiction, but I remember before I worked here, I worked at a factory. And I was going to work one day and, I forgot my phone. I'm like, I'll be fine. I can go through one shift without my phone. You would have thought I was in what's wrong. And other people were like, I'd have gone home and got my phone. I'm like, I didn't want to be late because I had to clock in now. But yeah, I still remember that. It was terrible. There's not much, we do freak out. We're so like used to having that. But I guess, some of y'all, everybody have phones? I can remember a time when I didn't really have a phone, so,
And I ain't excited about it.
yeah.
For real.
But it can be a good distraction. To me, there's always like pluses and negatives to everything. I mean, sometimes I think we do get too addicted to our phones and used to having them in our hand, but then again, it can be a distraction. I know when I quit smoking, it was good to have just something to do with my hands, playing games on my phone and stuff, or a distraction, like you said, when you just watch TikTok videos, take your mind off other stuff. But, I mean, if you're doing them and not doing other things that you should be doing, because there's one of the, certification boards is doing a seminar on, like, TikTok and social media.
I'm supposed to be
seeing
seeing Jay in a
Getting to
little
be
bit. I
a,
asked
you
him
know,
about him.
a thing now that they're looking at, people being too addicted to technology and stuff. Yeah, I don't know what's doing to kids, because my granddaughters, their mother tries to limit it, but you would have thought somebody is like, mothers, when you take their tablets away from them sometimes. I mean,
And we
school
get
is
upset
over.
at you about that.
Man, if kids knew how we grew up in like before the 2000s, man, they probably shit
Oh,
they
hell, I'm a
pants on.
lot older than you. The things that, we were like, I saw a thing too.
You
that's
still-
like
you
on
probably
the
had
news,
8-track,
the
huh?
clock is
Yeah.
like, where
Y'all
your
didn't
children
even
are.
know what
I'm
CD
like,
player
we were
was.
like locked out of, we got out and were basically locked out of the house. Don't come home till.
Man, yeah, I used to walk around. I remember plenty of times where I would walk around like from like 3 or 4 miles outside of my neighborhood. I used to live in Spring Valley. We just walk around wherever, go to ponds and lakes, and we used to play in people's yards. Didn't know who the hell they was. Just play in their yard. They never said anything to us.
We didn't even have computers when I was in high school.
No, but we ain't these, though.
I remember when like internet and stuff first came out. They had the AOL CD-ROMs that used to just be in a big bin in Walmart.
Yeah, and now it's like, I remember that too, when you'd sit there forever waiting for a modem to load. Now if it takes 2 minutes, I'm like, what the
Yeah.
hell's wrong with my internet?
Someone unplug and plug back in the Wi-Fi. It ain't working.
I had heard somewhere that the manuscript in cursive is gonna be lost if we don't teach.
They started teaching kids in school that again, for a while there, they took it out.
I used to get in trouble in school for printing.
My
I've
stepdaughter,
always
24
printed,
years
and I used to
old,
get in trouble for it.
You know what I just recently, like, you probably did this when you were in school. You know what I just recently found out about shorthand writing.
They stopped teaching.
I didn't know, cause I seen like a video of a woman that was shorthand writing. I said that's just scribble right there. But then someone in the comments said no, they shorthand. I was like, what the fuck is shorthand? She just all she did was write it while it was
I
scribble.
never knew shorthand, but I know it's what people use now. They just record it.
It's like it's like an actual. It was like an actual like. Bro, have you ever seen shorthand? Like this literally is shorthand, something like this.
Like sign and symbols. I think the reporter does that.
That's actually a
That's
word
what they
in
use
shorthand.
Oh,
That's
really?
like those. That's how shorthand looks. It's usually used for like secretaries to write down notes and memos real
Oh
quick.
yeah.
So we're on new direction socialization. We're on
It means something. Don't ask me what it means.
Section 5, which is building relationships. We've started on this. We kind of talked about, healthy relationships. What does healthy relationships look like? What does unhealthy relationships look like? It asks you to think of somebody from your past and somebody today who you considered a good friend and what qualities they had. Y'all can look back over those. We talked about intimacy, not in a sexual sense, but in just being able to build connection with somebody and just being able to be yourself and being authentic. Because to really build connection, we have to learn to let those walls down. And it doesn't mean you have to be like that with everybody, but it's good to at least have some people that you can kind of let those walls down and let them see the real you. May take a minute, we built those walls up pretty hard for a long time. It may take a minute to start letting them down. And we talked about empathy. It's important, to build connection, to be able to put ourselves in somebody else's shoes and, kind of feel what they're feeling. And it doesn't mean it's like you have to totally know what they're going through, but just be able to kind of just be there with them, I've heard that that's the difference between empathy and sympathy, because empathy is being willing to just sit with somebody and their pain, which can be painful for us too, but if we're a true friend, want to build that connection, sometimes that's what people need, just somebody to be there with us.
I thought the difference between empathy and sympathy is going through it and not, and being able to visualize going through it. Like if you sympathize with someone, it's because you actually went through that situation that they went through, and you know how it feels. And if you empathize with someone, it's like I've never been through that situation, but I can imagine that that's tough.
I don't know. I guess there's probably different definitions of sympathy. I always think of Brene Brown, and she's like, sympathy is kind of when you bake a cake and write in a card and run by and like, here, I'm sorry for your loss and take off, whereas empathy is actually being there for somebody. Where sympathy is, we're still over here, and it's like, yeah, I'm sorry you're going through that, but I'm not going there with you, and empathy is when it's like, we can just allow ourselves to be with that person and be present.
I don't think that's a definition. But whatever. I said I don't think that's a definition. Whatever. You agree to
You wanna
disagree?
look it up?
Oh yeah, I'll look it up. I'm pretty sure that sympathy. That's what I said was the main key difference between sympathy and empathy.
But we were on 117 on looking at compassion. Does somebody want to read on compassion?
Compassion. Compassion grows out of empathy. Compassion means putting ourselves in someone else's shoes while showing understanding, acceptance, and forgiveness. It is not enough simply to know that someone else is experiencing. We must be able to understand how he or she got there. We must be able to accept that person just as he or she is and forgive the poor choices that person made. Compassion is also something that grows from the inside out. To build compassion for other people, we need compassion for ourselves. Are you compassionate towards yourself? This does not mean pretending that you think everything you have done is okay. It means separating who you are from what you have done. Can you forgive your bad choices instead of blaming them on other people? You can't shame yourself into being the man that you want to be. Having tender feelings about yourself will help you to be gentle with others as well. Passion comes from feeling our pain and deciding not to give that pain to other people. Compassion comes from noticing other people's pain and deciding that their pain is like our own. Alcohol and other drugs hide our pain from us. When we are numb to our own pain, we are also numb to the pain we cause others. The following exercise will help us to remember the pain we have hidden from ourselves.
So think back to a time when you were using and disappointed someone who cared about you. Just think about it. Y'all don't necessarily have to write a paragraph about it. And this is right about how to get away from the painful feelings. Does anybody want to share this? I remember one time it caused me a lot of shame when I was using, and my sons were their dad, and my son had gotten hurt in a fight, and his dad called me that he was in the hospital, and I was gonna go up there, and other people, I had gotten in a fight, and I was black, I was just a mess, I was strung out, and even the people I were with was like, your son didn't need to see you like this, and I was like, you're right, and I didn't go to the hospital, and I felt a lot of shame about that for a long time, that I wasn't able to be there for my son because I was too strung out in my addiction. And I dealt with it at the time by just getting higher. That's how I dealt with all my pain, using more. I've been able to make amends about it today, but it's still for a long time. Situations like that, and that one in particular, caused me a lot of shame when I wasn't there for people that, that cared about me and that I cared about. Does anybody else have a situation they want to share?
What was the question?
When is a time that you caused pain to somebody that cares about you, and how did you deal with it?
When it's time that I call, wait, say that again?
Think to a time when you were using and disappointed someone who cared about you. What happened? Be specific, even if it's painful.
I remember a time when, I had I guess my sister. I told my sister I was gonna get off drugs, and I went to the hospital. I did the whole shebang bang, and then I ended up using just like 5 days later. And I know she went through a whole situation to try to help me out and stuff like that. But at that time, I don't think I was necessarily. I mean, the withdrawals were bad, so I was just like, nah, I ain't finna sit like this for much more longer. I mean, honestly, even if this time around, if I wasn't in jail when I was going through withdrawals, and I had the money, I probably would still be using. But
An example they give, I remember one time when I promised my daughter I wouldn't drink anymore. She was only 6. I told her I quit, but I was still drinking. I thought I could fool her. She used to smell the soda I was drinking to see if it smelled funny. I opened the trunk and she saw the bottle of whiskey. She didn't say a word, she just looked at me. And I felt ashamed.
a 6-year-old knows what alcohol smells like. I mean, I think when I was 6, I knew my dad was drinking, but I didn't necessarily know what alcohol was to understand the meaning behind it. I just knew it was something that adults should drink, and I wasn't supposed to have any. That's basically what my understanding of alcohol was when I was 6. Like I knew what beer was. I knew he used to drink Budweiser. You knew you used to drink Budweiser because I see the cans, but I know those like we don't touch those. Those daddy cans right there, and that's for adults only.
I remember, because I already left after a while years clean. I was clean when my kids were young, and then when my sons were like in the early teens, I started using again. And I can remember the first time I got stoned after a really long time, and my son came in. It's not funny now. I mean, I didn't make me cause pain, but he was looking at me, and I felt worse than going home to my parents being stoned the way my son was looking at me. I was stoned. You know, I was like, oh Lord. They pick up on stuff. They know when stuff.
It sure does get a lot easier to disappoint that person after about 2 or 3 times. You know, after about 2 or 3 times, you know, it gets to the point where at first I would try to hide my use from like my sister or my dad and stuff like that. But once they knew for sure I was using, it was just like, you know, well, fuck you, I still got a job, so yeah, I'm still do what the fuck I want. But at first I would probably say something like, how you know I'm using drugs? You don't know if I'm using drugs or not. But after they seen me or seen the evidence of me doing it a few times, it wasn't no denying at that point. So at that point, it's just like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. I like doing it and kiss my ass if you don't.
And it's hard also being on the other shoe because, you know, both my sons have struggled with addiction. Then I got a whole new level of shame for what I put my people through having to deal with my son. And it's hard. I mean, people come in here, it's like, I don't understand why they don't trust me and stuff. And it's like, I want to trust them, but I've been heartbroken so many times. I still trust them, but, you know, to a certain extent. But at the same time, I kind of protect myself for, is this going to happen again? Am I going to get that heartbreak again? And like my youngest son, recently, he was in Serene Grove a couple months ago, but when I told my ex-husband that he was using again, my ex-husband, I thought he was going to have a heart attack. He held me down. He was just like, you know, but he was like, I'm so tired of this shit. And I'm like, he's probably really tired of it too. You know, I can have that compassion because I'm like, I've lived with addiction. I'm like, it's a struggle. You know, and we do have setbacks, but, you know, being a loved one of somebody too, I'm always like, I feel like I'm having to prepare myself for the shoe to drop, you know, even though right now they're both doing okay. And they're great when they're okay, but, you know, when they're not, they're off the rails and it's heartbreaking, so. But.
I was just thinking to myself, and I felt I was sharing. I had no idea that drugs and alcohol would lead me down this road. I had no idea. But now that, you know, I'm here and I'm bettering myself, I'm glad that I am here. Because I was just, you know, used to just seeing stuff like this on TV, like this group, like Intervention or something like that. Like, man, I never get like that. So I learned never say never, because I don't know what tomorrow may hold.
You know, it's just like I've said in group before, been doing this going on 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first started going through rehab,
What they doing? They throwing ones out there?
I say 5, out of 5 years, this is our first year that I was able to pass 50. This is the first time I passed 50 here in 5 years. I just I didn't care. I had to hit rock bottom before I even tried to get into it. I mean, I was at the lowest point in my life. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yep, and the elevator gets off anywhere. I mean, some of it's rock bottom is a lot low. I hit it and wallow in there for a while. My bottom's pretty low. But like you said, and you know, like I said, I got clean the first time at 24, and I stayed clean for almost 13 years when I went back out, and there was things I was like, I would never do that, I would never do that. Yeah, I did them. You know, I have a lot of agains, not yet. You know, I didn't think I was gonna make it back, but here I am. So, I was trying to look up answers to these questions. So, intimacy means being blank connected and close to activities that can be blank or blank and personal. What's
What page are you on?
I'm answering the question on 119, which is talking
119?
about
I mean,
what we read.
intimacy means being.
I'm like, I could look in the facility.
Okay.
Anyways, what was the question?
Have we been over intimacy?
We did, but you
Okay.
weren't in here. It was,
Okay, I can-
What was the
it
question?
means being emotionally connected and close to a variety of activities that can be informal or deep and personal. Denial and blaming are two common blank that people use to avoid blank. What do you think that is?
Denial and blaming are two forms of.
Okay.
Redirecting? Redirecting? Is there a specific word that's supposed to be in there?
And shoot, I'll find it. I don't see denial.
Denial and blaming are a specific form of redirecting. That's what I say. I don't know.
They're just tactics that people use to avoid responsibility, basically. And when we have compassion,
We got
show
that
it
change
with
for five.
blank, blank, and forgiveness.
We have
Just read
compassion.
that one.
Thanks for bringing more up, buddy. I thought I did.
I tell you what, you give me the 5 and I bring you the change next week.
I know you will.
Gave it all up for that thought. All of it.
That boy don't drop some of that slob,
I
didn't
don't know, bro.
he? Hit that slipping. Hit that slipping slide on that motherfucker. Get some of that gooby goober, boy.
Acceptance and forgiveness.
I'm a gooby goober.
So are y'all able to have compassion for yourself today?
Yeah.
I still want to ride myself more, because I feel like I am too far behind. But, I got to take it one day at a time.
It's not like it's a compassion of, I'm doing my best, so lay off of me or whatever. It's more of a compassion of like, you did what you said you were gonna do. So what I'm saying, don't be so hard on yourself, because everything you went through was for a reason. And at least you trying now, it's not like a woe it's me type of compassion. It's pity meal because, he had such a hard time and he's trying right now, so trying is good enough. You know how people give people compassion like that when they're just like doing the bare minimum, like the very bare minimum, and they think they're supposed to be giving the world, I guess. I don't like that type of compassion. I feel like I hold myself to a higher standard than I think people assume. Like if I tell my sister something, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I don't feel like I'm doing this right. And she's like, well, no, you're doing good enough right now. And I think that she's just trying to, sugarcoat it, you know what I mean? And she doesn't want to tell me like if I'm doing something wrong, because I don't know, she want to like hurt my feelings or something. But I feel like I don't want it to be sugarcoated. Like if I feel like I'm not actually doing something or trying hard enough at something, I want to be told that, because if I would definitely say fuck it real quick if I feel like I don't want to do something. But if I feel like I'm challenged to do something, I'm gonna basically, I'm not gonna just let someone feel like they have the upper hand on me. Like if you challenge me to, say, I bet you can't do this. I'm like, well, fuck it, I bet you I can. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let you get the last word.
Sometimes I think I stay clean for as long as I did the first time, cause I had conflict on me, I'd never stay clean. I was like, "Fuck you, bitch. I'll say to you, I'll stay clean." And I did, but, you know, sometimes it takes different things to motivate us, but.
Yeah.
I stayed clean long enough to realize my life was better, you know, being clean. And that's all we, you know, but I think it is compassion. Like I said, sometimes it's a struggle. I mean, people come in here and do, you know, it's like, well, I got 30 days clean. Why doesn't my family accept me? And, you know, I'm changed. Just like, and how many times have you done this? How many times, you know, have you lied to me and said you were changed when you didn't?
I'll take more than 30 days.
Yeah, I mean, and it took, because I wasn't in and out, but the second time I got clean, it was like 4 years, I mean, it was like 4 years before my family started trusting me and agreed to kind of help me. I actually kind of had an emotional bottom on my sister's back porch in Maysville, of all places, because my dad had picked me up in Miami and my stepmother literally run me out of the house with a broom, and I ended up on my sister's porch, and I was like, I'm sorry, you know, I don't have a car, I'm unemployed, I have nowhere to live, and I'm sorry you're stuck with me, you know? And I think that's when my family realized I was really trying. My sister helped me get a job on a farm where I could rent a trailer on the farm until I could afford a little car, you know? But it was a struggle, you know, early recovery wasn't easy, but, you know, I don't wanna die. I thought I did at one time, but now I realize I really don't wanna die out there. But let's look at 119 on parenting. Does somebody wanna read that? Even if you're not a parent now, you may end up being a parent, or you may
I'll read it.
marry somebody that's got kids and be a step parent, or, you know, have nieces and nephews.
Few relationships in our lives are like those of being a parent to your child. As the saying goes, once a parent, always a parent. But what are parents responsible for? Before answer to this question would be a very long list. Simply put, as parents, we need to be sure our children's basic needs are met. These include providing a place to live and food to eat, keeping children safe and making sure they are healthy, getting medical care, and getting an education. And parents' responsibility also includes nurturing and disciplining children. Parenting styles. At the start of this workbook, we examine our childhood and learn how that doesn't make sense. Learn how the way we were raised impacts how we develop. Now it's time to look at what we are doing as parents. Experience experts agree that there are 4 basic parenting styles. Understanding these styles will help you identify where do we have healthy or unhealthy parenting styles. Number 1 is dominating. An overly dominant parent has a lot of laws and is very rigid. These parents display a high amount of control and exhibit very little warmth or affection. Number 2 is neglectful. This type of parent has very few rules and shows very little love. This parent often fails to give loving support and is seen as uncaring. These parents generally show little interest in their children's day-to-day lives. Number 3 is permissive. This parent is extremely loving, but has very few rules. This parent gives children warmth, support, and unconditional love, but is inconsistent and non-assertive with rules and limits. And number 4, balance. These type of parents have clearly defined rules with an equal amount of love. This parent is very affirmative and supportive. These parents are very affectionate affectionate and supportive, but display control. This parenting style often results in children being willing to obey rules and authority. Researchers have found that children are more likely to have problems such as using alcohol and drugs if their parents were very strict, were very harsh, and their punishment were very um, and their punishment. I'm sorry, were very harsh, and their punishment were very lenient and provided inconsistent rules. To raise a healthy child, there should be a balance between enforced rules and flexibility.
So if y'all remember when I talked about the stages of the development, I think it was in session 2 or 3 that we went through the stages of development and how our needs weren't met at each stage. It could affect us growing up. We'll go back through that when we get to that session, but, so who's in here as a parent? Anybody here? Okay. So while parenting requires feeding our kids and making sure they're safe, it's not necessary to provide them with nurturing and discipline. True or false? That's false. A permissive parent is very loving but has few rules.
True.
Research shows that children are more likely to have problems with alcohol and other drugs only when parents were very lenient with their children.
False.
Yep, usually too harsh or too lenient. So positive parenting, the things that make healthy parenting are very similar to what makes any relationship healthy. These include trust, clear communication, and working together to solve problems. The difference is that as fathers, we are responsible for setting the examples for our children, and change needs to begin with us. By improving our parenting skills, we can help our children become adults who can hold down a job, have healthy relationships, care for their own families, and contribute to the world. We can help them become happy, healthy adults. There is help available to us so we can improve our parenting skills, and the goal is to become a more confident parent, not a perfect parent. So here are some tips on being a better parent. Love with limits. Show your children you love them by paying attention to them, taking good care of them, and keeping them safe. Give them simple, clear rules. Show sensitivity and empathy. Put yourself in your children's place. Remember what it was like at their age. Yes, they could be expected to follow rules, but it's important that they be allowed to express their feelings. Build relationships and trust with each of your children. Pay attention so you really know who they are. Be real with them and follow through on your promises to them. Be consistent. Don't change rules for no reason or enforce rules sometimes but not at other times. And make amends with your children if needed. Apologize if you owe it to your children. You will always need to follow through on any behavior change that you promise. And like it says, we're probably never going to be perfect. I had cousins, my granddaughters, at one point were like 6 months. They were toddlers, but I make a much better grandmother than I did a mother. And but even when I had cousins, there were times where I would just lose my cool. I thought I didn't have anger management problems anymore.
It's really tricky because it seems like everything is, especially with all the motivational interviewing, is that
How y'all like the class so far? Well, yeah. It's my boy Dave. That's one of my roommates. It's for my YouTube page, Dave. It's for my YouTube page.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Wanna say what's up?
What's up?
That's my boy right there. Man, that man got so many bitches out here. All up and down the hallway. Everywhere. You finna head back to the house? You finna head back to the house?
No.
Oh, y'all just on break?
Break. We have chicken.
Oh, okay. Bet. Oh, that's right. Damn, is that time already? Shit. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go to check in today. check in, out. Get it? Check in, out. Ha! Got him. Oh, somebody fucked that one up. Man, these classes are like an hour and a half long, yo. I still got like 30 fucking more minutes to be in that specific class, and I got another one after that. Most recovery places, they're not like that. You know what I mean? They're just, you get in there, you go to work. Maybe every now and then you have like a group session or something, but usually most recovery places aren't like that. The places I'm at, it's like government funded, so they basically spend a bunch of money. They get your apartment for free. You have like 3 other roommates that stay with you, so I stay with 3 other guys, and I don't pay any bills for a year. After 120 days, we start working. So for the first 120 days, we don't work. They give us food. Every week, they basically put food in the refrigerator. All of our medical bills are paid for. Like if we go to the hospital or something, that's all paid for. And they give us like gift cards like once a month to get like other personal needs and stuff like that, like a Walmart gift card or whatever. I'm also have other government assisted things, so I'm almost at the point where I'm gonna start working. Like I think towards the end of next month, I'm at the point where I start working. I'll have a few things in motion right now. I just had an interview the other day for a job as a manager at a restaurant. That went pretty well. We'll see how that turns out. And I had an interview yesterday for Dollar General. See how that works out also. So, fingers crossed. I don't have much to worry about as far as like job goes and stuff like that. It's just continuing to do the same things I've been doing. I'm not gonna have to be in the classes like the air classes anymore after I start working. I just have to go to like aftercare +5 meetings a week, but I think I'm probably just gonna do 3 meetings. Technically I only have to do 3 meetings, but my peer counselor wants me to do 5 meetings. I'm also in therapy sessions with my therapist. So yeah, it's basically everything that goes on, you know. Yeah, it's a pretty cool program. As far as programs go, they have a higher success rate than any other recovery or rehab facility around here. And basically, from the time you're here to the time you leave, they spend around $150,000 on each person, like bills, food, medical bills, everything accumulated. Like if you don't have a ride to work, they give you $100 a week for a Lyft gift card, so you can get back forward to work every week. What else do they do? If you don't got clothes for work, they buy you clothes, not just for work, but like changes of the seasons. Like they bought everyone coats, bought me a few things. So yeah, it's a really good, actually a really, really good program. I think it's like a 37% success rate, whereas everyone else is around 15%. Head back to this class. What's up, boy? Same shit. Making that video for my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And my boy right here, man. That my boy right here, boy. Yo.
What's up, video? How we doing, chat?
Hit that. How we doing, chat, man? Shit. Gonna post this shit later on. I got a few videos up. This shit you got try to get them swinging.
I don't think we gonna do it like that, bro. I think we gonna give you my own part, man.
Yo, I don't know, man. Shit, if you get to a recovery place, you gonna have a few roommates. It just depends on where you go. Which one you say you're trying to go to?
shelf.
What do you mean?
Like,
Oh, you talking about apartment through Advantage? Oh yeah, they you have at least one roommate. I think you have your own room, but you have a roommate. I think it's like a 2-bedroom apartment, like they was doing over there at University Oaks.
Yeah. I'm telling my job, we don't want to be the only person in my shit.
Man, they ain't gonna let you get your own guy, man. Them folk gonna look at you like you crazy, boy. They gonna be like, man, your own apartment? Who you think you is? Donald Trump? Bill Gates? Come on,
I'll
man.
get that sense out, so shit. They probably, they might,
I'm telling you, you're gonna have at least one roommate, cause I don't know if you remember them women that used to stay over at University of Oaks. They was on the Advantage program, the housing program. It was this black woman and a white woman. She stayed there. There was this one dude. He had his own apartment, but that's only because they didn't find him a roommate yet. And then I don't know. He just moved. They moved him. I guess they moved him out of that specific apartment. I don't know why. He had his own roommate. He had his own place. But yeah, like I said, that's just because they didn't get him a roommate yet. I don't know why they didn't get him a roommate yet. But he had just moved in there. He was the first one in that apartment. I don't even know if they do still do University Oaks. Outside of University Oaks, I don't even know where else they do apartments at. But they probably doing somewhere else around town outside of University Oaks. Where at?
shit through Advantage.
I'm talking about where at though?
I think it's at, Rolling Reed.
Rolling Reeds. They got apartments in that neighborhood? Well, I guess they got them in University Hills. They have them in that neighborhood too. They just seem like a bad neighborhood. Getting ready to head back to class now.
And I'll turn it a couple of times and then I'll go and like wash my spatula
On
and
a
stuff.
Tuesday.
And make sure I wash my cutting board in between stuff. But for the most part, I've had a rock good time. I could eat about anything.
I
But
used to have a cast iron stove,
Yeah.
not anymore. Oh, no.
But so parenting.
Anyone else?
Anybody else have anything to say about that? And I've seen parents, that aren't even so much strict, but like put unnecessary demands on their kids, like they gotta be the star football player, or trying, I think it's live out their dreams on their
True,
children, which is wrong. I try to let mine, I let them play a variety of sports and do what they, whatever they chose to do. They chose drugs.
My mom was like super lenient. I think because of that, it made me feel like I didn't have to be ashamed of doing drugs, so I wasn't worried about doing it. It's like it was never a situation where she said, okay, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. It was, if I wanted to do something, she never really had a problem with me doing anything that wasn't going to, like, I guess, fuck up, the house or the car or something like that. As long as I wasn't trying to like burn some shit down, she didn't say too much. Like if I wanted, like I was 13 years old, I stayed out till like 3 o'clock in the morning, and she didn't too much say anything about that because as long as I came home that night, she wasn't too worried about it. Or I was even like selling drugs out of the house when I was like 25, and as long as
But it's hard. I mean, some of the hardest things I've had to do is set limits with my son. And when my youngest son has like been in recovery and told his story, I mean, he said, he's like, my dad would love me to death, but my mom will set boundaries and tell me what I need to hear. Last time he was out, I had to call the police and tell him he wasn't welcome on my property. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done. But I had to set that boundary. I wasn't gonna let him come in my house and make him unsafe. His wife and kids were in my house, but, so it's hard. It's hard as a parent. That was one of the hardest things I had to learn. And I know, my oldest son, before he went to prison, he lived with me for a while. He was getting starting out. And he would be like just hateful to me sometimes. He was very angry. And, you know, I would get defensive, but there was times and he'd be like, you know, you're selfish. And I'm like, I'm selfish because I'm not setting boundaries with you and I don't kick you out when I should. Because this is what I should do for your well-being. That breaks my heart, so I'll let you stay here and walk all over me and treat me any kind of way because I don't have the heart to kick you out, you know. And it's hard to learn to set those boundaries because we just want to be there. We want to like love our kids and we want to just do whatever. And it's especially hard. I see it with parents, probably maybe more so with the women, that they start getting clean and have all this shame, and then they really have a hard time setting boundaries with their kids because they want to just make it up to their kids and make up for not being there. And like I said, it took other women to teach me to set boundaries because, you know, like I said, my son was angry because of how